Okay, web design students of mine, I need to go over nested lists with you all because I was going to try to find a good website that talked about how to nest lists properly, and they're either full of ads or they had good example, but they didn't explain it. And I saw other ones that actually had bad code that would actually trigger an error. So what I'm going to show you is how to do a nested list, a list inside of a list, and to do it the right way. Now we could do this in an unordered list and an ordered list. It doesn't really matter which one we do, and you could even combine them. So you have like a numbered list, and inside of the numbered list have an ordered list or a bullet list. Doesn't really matter. We're going to do an unordered list, and this is all going to be about my computer science program of study. So I start by creating my unordered list. This is the bullet list, and I'm going to create my first list item, which is just going to be my strands. Okay, course strands, or I should say program strands. Now, program strands. Okay, so what are my program strands? Well, part of this list item are the program strands. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor right after the letter S. I'm going to hit enter because a nested list, a list inside of a list, is a list item. Now, there's a couple of wrong ways to do it, but let me show you start with the right way. I'd rather you start off with the best way of doing it. Decide, is this an ordered list or is it unordered? And really, does the order of the list matter or not? It doesn't. So we're going to make it an unordered list. And I hit enter and I hit enter again. Notice the tabbing. The tabbing is going to make things a lot easier for you to kind of see if you're doing it right or not. So I do recommend you let VS Code do the tabbing, or you just make sure you are consistent with it. So what are those strands? They are programming. And then actually I'm going to go ahead and type them out and then come right back. So those are the three programming strands. I will also create another list item, which is part of the outer list, which is languages taught. And notice, once again, I am writing the list item first, but while my cursor is still right after my text, I'm going to hit enter again, and now I'm going to do my other unordered list, and now I'm going to write down some languages, and then I'll come right back when I'm done. Okay, so those are the languages taught. Now, I know I've taught other languages, but these are just the main ones I taught. And I just really want to make the point of a nested list. Look at the way the code looks, and I just want to remind you that you have an outermost list, either an OL or a UL. And then inside we have list items. Notice how each list item begins on its own line. But if I'm going to nest a list inside of it, I'm just going to put it inside, just like there, tabbed over. This list item doesn't get closed till after I've closed the inner list, and it's all part of this same list item. Okay, so let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. And so I think I need to go ahead and get this set up. Okay, I'm back. So there's my nested list. So I'm going to need to reveal in the File Explorer, and there it is. I'm just going to double click so I can see it in the browser. And notice the look of the list. This is what a nested list should look like. The other thing I want to show you is we're going to run a thing called the validator. And this is one of those tools that you're going to want to be very familiar with. So it's called validator.w3.org. And this will basically tell us if our code is good or not. So I'm going to go ahead and find the file. Let me show you what that looks like. So I click the find file, the choose file I mean, and then I'm looking under classes, web design, nested list, and I'm going to click open. So I found the list, there's it. I'm going to click check and see if I have any errors. And it says document checking complete, no errors or warnings to show. That's proof that I did it the right way. Now, there's a lot of ways it can be done wrong, either visually or as far as the code goes. So let's look at each of those. I'm going to go back to my code over here. What a lot of people will do is they will close the list item right here, then insert an unordered list and do something kind of like that. So let's see what that looks like. So let's save our changes. And I'm going to get rid of the extra line returns and get rid of those. And let's save the changes, and then let's see what it looks like in the browser. I believe I was just back a couple pages here. Oh, apparently I was not. We'll just go back here. I'm going to hit refresh, and save my changes. Okay, it looks good. Doesn't look any different. Let's go take a look at it on the validator. upload, choose file. I'll just re-choose it, just make sure I'm looking at the same one. Click open and check. And now I have errors. Okay, what do the errors say? Element UL not allowed as a child of element UL. Okay, you can't just stick an unordered list inside of an unordered list, right? And what happened is we closed this list item. And then we're just basically sticking it in there like this. And that doesn't work, right? And the other thing we don't want to do is we don't want to go ahead and create a list item and stick it inside here, right? We don't want to do that. And let's just go ahead and I'll do that right now. Li, and I'm just gonna then insert this inside. And we could do that, but we don't want to, and here's why. Save my changes. Let's take a look at what it looks like in the browser. And we have extra bullet points now. So not a good look for your website, right? It just looks broken because that's not how they work. And then of course, let's just see if it likes it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to click choose file just to be safe. I just want to make sure it actually doesn't have an error. It just looks wrong. So and it doesn't make sense because technically speaking, I mean, you could do that. I suppose that could work in some cases, but then it just, like I said, it's just not going to look right. So the final thing is it should look like the following. That's what it should look like. Save our changes, hit refresh. That looks right. And then we're just going to go back and click check. And it still likes it. We'll hit refresh just for good measure and we'll click continue. Oh, still have to choose the file one more time just in case. And now we'll check. And again, complete, no errors or warnings to show. This is very important. So just as a recap, open your list item, write the outer category, then on its own line tabbed over, create your other unordered list, then close the list item afterward. So that closing of the list item is closing the one from line 12 right down there. Notice language is taught. There's nothing over on the right here. It's down here is where it is. And by the way, if you just click in the browser, you can see where the tag is getting closed. So it's very important. And hopefully you realize why indentation is really handy because it just makes it easier to see. And if you need help and something doesn't look right and you're asking me for help, if you have formatted your code well and you've been properly tabbing, it'll be a lot easier for me to find where the error is as well. Because these are patterns that I'm so used to seeing all the time, I can spot right away where things are wrong if it's done well that way. All right, thanks for watching.